The first company that I have the honor of introducing today is AEG. AEG creates exclusive communities for elite business advisors and successful CEOs. AEG manages a national ecosystem of city-based communities of advisors in 80 complementary disciplines and separate peer groups of CEOs of 20 million plus companies. Please welcome Mark Haas, co-founder and CEO of AEG.
Okay, thanks, Anthony, and thanks, Tien. Glad to be a longtime CONNECTpreneur sponsor. In my 40 years of advising CEOs as a management consultant and strategy and operations, I've really come to recognize there are really three unstoppable, unspoken trends. The first is increasing complexity across all business operations and decision-making. The second is the decline of trust among all institutions. And the third is compression of time. This really crushes business growth and productivity. So this manifests itself, especially for CEOs running mid-market companies and for those advisors helping them with that growth. I think for advisors, the biggest challenge to complexity leads to specialization. So everybody has their own niche and makes it really hard to connect to the companies they want to serve. And for CEOs, it's hard to get quick access to the right combination of trusted advisors. So based on that, to navigate this maze, what AEG is doing is creating a national ecosystem of exclusive trust communities for both of these growth resources. Now, this may be a logical solution to a problem. It really hasn't been done before at this level. So we're creating two parallel city-based communities. The first is the orange is the elite advisors. These are 80 complementary disciplines: law, finance, strategy, operations, sales, et cetera, that help the owners grow, exit, and build their personal wealth. The second one in the green is successful, mature CEOs of companies of about 20 million or more in revenue. Now, every individual in these communities is vetted according to our culture and values. So we've got a simple but powerful subscription-based business model. It's a platform model, scale economies, and network effects. Both the advisory and CEO community members pay annual dues. There's gross revenues of about $1 million per city. It's 85% recurring revenue and a 30% margin that grows as we scale the business. The market's pretty substantial for both advisors and CEOs. Addressable market for the advisors is 7 million. Obtainable is about 140,000. These are the top 5% of advisors in our target cities. Same for the mid-market CEOs, about 1.5 million CEOs of 10-person plus companies. We're targeting about the top 180,000. We only need about 1% of this. So the question is, how do we actually access those? This is one of the brilliant ideas of the model. What we're doing is leveraging city-based business clubs. They're already a center for advisors and CEOs interested in connecting one another. But we take this to a new level by connecting them in a tighter community with intentional networking and business growth and community orientation. This ends up being a win-win for both the business clubs and AEG, and the strategy allows us to accelerate our expansion a lot faster. So each community is going to have a local director who knows the community and is known by the community. So if this idea of networking and CEO peer groups sounds familiar, it certainly is, which is good because it proves the concept. However, we're really creating an unmet need by connecting these two communities together. It's not just an internal operation. And what's pretty amazing is that some AEG members have said, after experiencing it, says this is like the anti-accelerant and the anti-Vistage. It is so different. So we're getting traction. We started in DC with an advisory chapter, added Inner Circle, which is our CEO peer group in 2021, and expanded to Baltimore advisors. In 2022, we're starting a peer group in Baltimore and expanding to Tampa. So the expansion is we're growing modestly, even though each city is going to be independent, will have its own director. We're just being careful about how fast we launch these cities, not growing too fast, but they are independent, so we should be okay. You know, in many respects, this kind of looks like a franchise with centralized finance, marketing, and administration, but local control of the chapter. Our management team and advisors are all experienced. My partner, John Yetman, is a wealth manager. I'm a management consultant, both focused on advising high net worth, successful CEOs and companies. I've run a membership organization for professionals. Our advisors are all successful CEOs, entrepreneurs, and investors, and our management team's experienced in growing companies and running membership organizations. We're looking to raise $1 million. We've raised $200K already, looking to raise the remaining $800K in the next few months. And that's going to be used specifically for revenue producing opportunities, expanding to new cities, marketing, and staff. Looking for an exit in the next couple of years, probably when we get to 20 cities are operational. This is a conservative growth path to 2026, but we think we can probably do it in 2024 with the investment we're seeking. Exit will be to an insurance, wealth management, private equity company. It's a good cash flow business, but it's also a deal flow with our high net worth CEOs as well as advisors helping companies grow. Be happy to take your questions. I'll put a summary in the chat box and take your questions in the breakout room. Thank you so much.